Good evening, it's your man Earl, and we are Tuesday, uh, Tuesday, November, about a month ahead, November 27th, and day 331 on the calendar. And we did some reflective thinking yesterday on failure, and we're on the opposite side today. We are looking at the difference between success and failure. The difference between success and failure is really one simple thing. It is how you handle your ego. Some people call it self-image. I like to blend the two: ego, self-image, self-esteem. You can blend, for the practical purposes of this video, you could blend all three of those together. So you have an ego, you have self-esteem, and you have what was the third one? Self-image. So you have ego, self-esteem, self-image, right? And the difference between success and failure is wrapped up in these three things. And the difference can be boiled down to this statement, and I'll be done. Very simple, because I've been thinking about this, and you need to listen to this over and over and over again. Listen to this, okay? The only difference between, I got this written down, so let me have it up. The only difference between someone who is stuck in poverty, I didn't say poor, stuck in poverty, and someone who is developing wealth is the difference between their self-image or ego that is controlled or developed by an how do I pronounce it? Inferiority. So, and being inferior, seeing oneself as being inferior, right? And then that's a complex. So you have the inferior complex, which creates poverty. I didn't say poor, because you're always going to have people who are poor. But poverty and poor are two different things. Don't get it twisted, okay? And one who is developing wealth or success, their mindset is developed with the mindset of superior performance. Now, we talked about this, right? Remember, we talked about this. Remember, this whole year have been dealing with experts or masters. Our goal is superior performance. So the difference between someone who is successful or achieving wealth, or someone who is a failure, who is stuck in a poverty situation, okay? I didn't say poor, because people who are poor are not failures. So don't get that twisted, okay? Poverty and being poor are not the same thing, okay? And same thing as success and wealth are not the same thing, but they are very closely related. So the person who is dominated with poverty and a lack mentality has a inferior complex. I'll just leave it at that. My mouth is, I'm half asleep, I'm tired. So you have a complex who you see yourself as being inferior, less than, versus superior performance. Notice I said superior performance. And who do we compete with? Ourselves. Okay? We don't compete per se with the outside environment. We compete within ourselves. How can we perform? Do you perform at your highest level, which is superior performance, which is consistency at a certain level of execution? So I'm going to say it again. Person who is dominated with poverty mindset, lack mentality, is inferior, has an inferior complex. Inferiority. Thank you, Most High God. Inferior complex. They see themselves as less than, versus someone who is moving into success and creating wealth. They see themselves as one who is performing on a superior level. Okay? It's a mentality. It's a mindset. It is a self-image of superior performance. It's a self-image of inferior complex. Okay? It's your man Earl, www.deuceswild22.com. I'm sleepy. My mouth is tongue-tied. But guess what? We leave it. Why? Because it's real. Okay? Sometimes you don't get a second chance. I thought I was awake, but I wasn't awake. I'm not going to do it over. Why? because it's day 331 and it's Tuesday night and it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock. But guess what? That's the difference between people who are successful, is you see yourself performing at the superior level. And what's the level of superior? Completing one video every day for the year of 2018. That's what is superior performance, not necessarily being able to articulate every thought, every word, every time correctly. That is an unrealistic goal that cannot be completed in its truest form. You can always edit and slice and chop, but that's not real to you, because I'll be creating a false sense of superiority, because no one's perfect. Just look at live TV. Difference between poverty, wealth, success and failure, inferior complex, superiority, mentality, performance. This your man Earl. Deuces Wild, 22.com. Day 331, November 27th, Tuesday night. We out. Peace.